Howdy y'all, it's Kathy from RustPaperScissors, and I'm here today participating in the Junk Journal Challenge 3 under 30 minutes, where you make 3 items for a junk journal under 30 minutes. What I wanted to make today was a mini journal. These I add to a regular journal, or somebody could put it in their purse, or it can just be a little standalone journal. But I make them out of file folders. I cover the file folders with sticky backed velvet, and then I attach the pages with a rusted metal prong fasteners, and I just think they turn out really cute. We're going to do 3 today. We're going to do a Christmas, a Halloween, and then a Paris. We're going to use the same image that we used on this one, and then we'll get started. I wanted to talk about what we need for our supplies. Like I say, I like to use file folders. I also use sticky backed velvet, but you can use any type of thing to cover the journal that you want. I just find the velvet is easy, and I like to use it. So the other things I use is rusted D-ring fasteners. These I will clip on the side of the journal to close it. I use a rusted book plate. Again, the metal prong fasteners. I use tea-dyed paper. This is paper from a where did it go? A mini composition notebook, and so that's the size that I use. The pages are approximately 3 1/8 by 4 1/4, I believe, or maybe 4 1/2. So that's what I use. I'm going to use 15 pages, so they're double-sided, so it'll be like 31. I use 16, so 32, excuse me. I'm gonna, let's see, and I have some glue. I think that's about all we need. Scissors. I'm gonna set my timer here, and let's see if we can get started. Okay. Like I say, I use file folders. I like them because obviously they're already folded, but they also have, I don't know if you can see these score lines where they're like at 1/4, at 1/2, and 3/4. I normally use the 1/4 or the 1/2 inch for my spines, and these I'm making a 1/2 inch spine. And then let's cut them down, and I'll tell you the dimensions as I cut. I don't think file folders are straight, so I normally cut the sides off because I've struggled with it and I just don't think they're straight. So I cut the edges off, and then I have a straight edge to use later on. Okay, now I will cut these. The height of the book is 4 3/4. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up, and where those score lines are, I'm going to go to the middle score line, which is the 1/2 score line, and I fold that, and I fold it both ways. I fold it both ways, just so it's folded good. And then, so now we have our spine, and we have our original fold of the file folder. Now I'm going to cut the cover. I'm going to use this first fold line at the 3 1/2 mark, and then I'm going to flip it over, and that fold that we made from the score lines, I'm going to use that fold at the 3 1/2 mark, And that ensures that our journal is, when it's closed, it will meet up. So there you go. So it's got a 1/2-inch spine. Okay. Now, I have done one. I've covered one. Here it is. With the sticky backed velvet. I'm going to cover this one with the sticky backed velvet. I'm going to move my camera just a minute and show you how easy it is. Then we'll cover the other one with both sides. And on this one, what I do is I take the sticky backed velvet. See if I can get it started. Sometimes I struggle with getting these things started. May take the 30 minutes here to do this. Here we go. Okay, what I do is, I guess I could scoot some of this stuff back. I give myself a little more room. What I do is I open this up just part way. And now I'm gonna take my file folder and I'm going to just place it on here, kind of in the center as best I can, and I attach it, and then I just pull this down, and then now I'm going to cut this piece off. I like to use this Fisker's finger knife. It really works well, and and you're going to see how easy this sticky back to velvet cuts. I'm going to line it up right next to the file folder, and I just come along and cut. And then we're going to turn around and we'll cut this end off. Okay. And then now I've got to clean up this edge. I didn't get exactly right, so all you do is just come back and you clean it up. So there we go. Well, I say that. The fun of filming, it never goes exactly as planned. Now this is the other side and it's all stuck down. Now I'm going to finish trimming this edge. And see how easy it cuts? It's just really fun to work with. I can cut it with my Cricut. There's a lot of different things you can use it for. I make different cutout die cuts with it. I've made tabs with it, those whale tail tabs. So it's pretty versatile. And like I say, it really cuts so easy. You'll be amazed if you try it. And then, let's see this last cut here. Okay, so this one is done. I'm going to trim that up. It's like sometimes I don't get right to the edge. And I like for it to look neat, nice and neat. Okay, and then what I do is I will reinforce those score lines and folds, and so there we have our journal cover. And now we're going to do the green one where I will do both sides. So let's see if I can get this started. I had it and then I lost it. There we go. Okay. This one. Okay, there we go. Like I say, I just fold it back part ways. And then I'm going to take my journal cover and I'm just going to line it up as best I can so it gets everything. And I just stick it down and then I pull this backing off, down at least and we'll just cut it. Okay. Now this one, I really need to straighten the edge up. I got way off. But it's easy to do. Okay. And then now we're going to cut this side. Then we're going to cut this side. I hope I'm in frame. Okay, and then we'll do this edge. Okay. Trim that up. Okay, now I'm going to make sure it's adhered down, and now I'm going to reinforce these score lines again in folds. I fold them back and forth. Okay, now we're going to cover the inside. And I do that because I just like it finished when it's, the black doesn't matter as much as, you know, the green with the black, so I like it to be the same on the inside. So, but you do what you like, and take the backing paper down. I leave it on there because I have a little bit left, and I'll just save that so we don't waste anything. And then now I'm just going to cut again. Whoops, I got way off. Well, I got way off on this one. I think it's because I'm having to reach so far. And then we just save that, and that's used for something else. I make tags and all sorts of different things. Okay, let's see if we can cut this up and get a little more trimmed up. Looks a little nicer. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to do this one. Okay, and then we're going to do this one. Okay, that looks pretty good. Might need to trim a little bit of that edge, but it looks pretty good. Okay, now again, I'm going to fold it again. So now we have our cover and we have it folded. Now we're going to add our pages. So what I did was I counted out 16 sheets of the mini composition paper, and folded them. So this is just a whole sheet, and so when you fold it, it's 2 sheets. And then I just fold it in half, and so now we have a block of pages that we're going to put in our journal. So I like to get them lined up, and then I'm going to, let's do the green one. It looks like both sides are good. Let's see, we'll use this as the end. Which side folds better? Yeah, I think it folds better this way. Okay. So I like to butt my papers up to the spine as best I can. And then looking at the ends and stuff, I try and center them. Then I hold it and I may have to adjust. Let's see. I like to get it just so. Let's see. Let's try one more time. We're going to butt the pages in there, and I'm going to find, try and find where it has, room on both sides. And then I'm going to attach. Okay, it just takes a little fiddling with. Now, I take a metal prong fastener, and I know that the center is right about there. So I'm going to mark my holes, and then I try and make sure it's lined up pretty even if I can. I mark my holes, and then I'm going to take the crocodile, and we'll cut them out. See, I'm going to move this paper over, these clamps over. Now, I think I'll be able to cut all this at once. I may not be able to. But see, I get the hole lined up in there. And then let's do this end. And I find my hole, I line it up, and then we just clamp it or cut it. Okay, then I take a base to the prong fastener, and I just kind of fold them up. And now on the back here, I'm going to put one side through, and then I'm going to put this side through. And then that's that. And then let's put our clamp on there. That's what I call it. I'm not sure what they call it. I know those are bases and these are clamps, so I'm not real sure. And then I just, you just fold them down, and you are good to go. Okay. So now we have a journal, and I didn't get my pages straight, so I might work on that. But we have a journal, and that's not straight. So it's not always perfect, but I can fix it, or this is just a demonstration. So, but we have that one, and then this one is one that I covered earlier. I have it set where it's going to, fit into the journal. We'll cut it or make our hole. I'll line it up. I can find it just so. Kind of hard to see in this light. Okay, and then we line, okay, then we line this one up, and we got that one. Okay, and then we take another base, and I'm just going to put it in there. This one I think I did much better. And this one is the top, the compressor, I think is what they call it. And then I'm just going to hold it down and cover the prongs. Okay. Now we have our second journal. So all ready to go. This one was much better. I got the edges much better. It seems straight. It looks straight. So that one's good. Now let's do this last one. And again, I'm going to take my pages and make sure I get them all, lined up as best I can. And then I'm going to clamp them down. I'm going to clamp them towards the edge. Okay. And then we're going to put them inside the spine, and I butt it up to the spine, and then I try and center it where there's room at the top and at the bottom, and then I just clamp it there, and again I'm going to have to fiddle with it a little bit. We've got room at top and bottom. Okay, then we're going to take our compressor and we make our mark. Okay. Now, we have, let's see. Okay. Man, time is flying for me today. We're already 10 minutes in. Oh, sorry. All right, so now we have our 3 journals made. See if we can get them finished up and decorated. We may run out of time. That's what happens when you hurry. Things. Sometimes these rusted prongs are kind of hard to move. There we go. So we've got that one. That one looks pretty good, looks centered. Okay. Then a lot of times what I like to do is take the corner rounder and I use the larger size, the 1/2 inch size, and I like to round the corners. And then usually you have to trim it after you cut it. I'll show you. But it cuts the paper off, but the sticky backed velvet you have to trim. Okay. So what I do is I just come back and I'll come along here and trim it. I won't take the time to do that on the other ones, but you'll know what to do. Okay. Okay, then let's do the most important things. I like to put the D-ring fastener on there. So I just eyeball the center. You have to open these things up, and then you're going to clamp it on here. And I just try to eyeball the center, and then I hold it, and then I take my little craft knife and I make a hole. And then I do the brad. Oops, I must not have made the hole big enough. Okay, and then you just open those up, and that is the first part of your closure. And then what I do is I take another one and make sure I just open it up a little bit, and then I align it with that first one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line them up, and then I'm going to again put a hole in there so I can add the brad. Okay. Okay, so that's that one, and then let's do this one. Try to get them done as much as I can before the time runs out. But again, we just put it on there. You try and eyeball it, find the center, and then these are very easy to use. You can use them on tags. I like to use them as closures. There's just several ways to do them. I swear it's not this hard in real life, but on the camera, it's more difficult. Okay, so that's that one. And let's do the back. And again, I just open it up and I align it with the one in front. So hopefully that's aligned. And then let's see if we can get our hole in there. Okay, so that's two, and then this is the third one. There, you get stuff all over your hands. Okay. So there's our 3 journals. And then let's, I would add ribbon. Let's see if I can add ribbon real quick, and then they'll stay shut. If I just tie a ribbon in there. And then we can look at what else I put on them. So there's one. I'm just sliding the ribbon through the D-ring fastener. Okay. And just gonna tie it. Oh, we're about out of time. Okay, so here's our 3 journals. These are the covers that I had picked out for them. This, and then I was going to show this. I don't have time, but I like to use the ribbon twist paper, and I cut it with these deco-edged scissors, and it kind of looks like it's been torn. This material, this ribbon paper is really kind of hard to tear. It's even kind of hard to cut. And then I would glue that on there, and then this was going to be that cover. And then this was the one that I was going to use on that one. And then I also put a little nameplate under there like Paris. And then this just says journal. And this one was going to say Halloween, but we don't have time. It's about to ding. But that's the 3 journals. And if you have any questions, please leave me a note in the comments. I do look at them and appreciate your comments. I hope you'll try these. They're easy, they're fun, and you can put quite a few things in there. And like I say, you can change the pages if you want. So I appreciate your time. I want to thank you very much.